we prepare you for success. Our team helps you craft a standout resume and ace your interviews, ensuring you land your dream job in cybersecurity. Don't wait for cyber threats to strike. Become the solution. Enroll in SoftAfrique's 16-week cybersecurity course today and start your journey to a high-paying career. Visit portal.softafrique.net to sign up now. Call for the USA +15029667638 and for Ghana +23.
Okay, so yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another week of Threat Intelligence Seminar. This month, October, is Cybersecurity Awareness Month in Ghana, and today there was opening lunch by the president, or this month, I believe, is Cybersecurity Awareness Month everywhere. And in Ghana, our theme that was launched today by the president is a safe, informed, and an accountable digital space. So this is what we aim to improve so that people can be free in the digital space. So that's about that. So as you know, our Threat Intelligence Seminar is in two parts if you are joining us for the first time. Now, our first part is our security awareness training, where we are trying to look at a video, an animated video, and we would answer questions on this animated video. And after this one, we would go on and go into our second part where we are looking at our presentation seminar or presentation session, sorry, where this session will be about something that we need to know as we are even in the cybersecurity awareness month. Okay. So the first thing that I'll do is to proceed to session one or part one and share my screen. And we will watch this video. When we are done with this particular video, we would come back and answer the question. So please stay attentive. Please watch this video. And when I'm done, just know that I'll be asking you guys questions. So please pay attention to that. And I'll play the video 2 times so that we all get an understanding of this particular video. And we would move on to what we have for today. Okay, so let's do that.
The UK government is investigating whether a recent outage at the London Stock Exchange was caused by a cyber attack. The The outage was its worst in 8 years.
54 for 3,000 shares.
2,000 trades.
59. 59.
No,
63 for 4,000. 63 for 4,000. Give me 63 for 4,000. I'm out. 6,000 trades. 6,000 at 63. Is this a cyber attack?
Nation state hacktivist? What, cyber terrorist?
Hackers have shut down the market. They've shut it down.
I need to know how this happened. I'm due to brief the Prime Minister in less than an hour. Someone tell me something.
The investigation is
Ongoing. I know. What do we know so far?
At the present, everything's pointing back to a BEC attack?
Business email compromise. Who was it that got hacked?
It was me. They hacked my email account 8 months ago.
Let me make sure I have this right. The CEO of one of the largest stock exchanges on the planet got hacked? Oh, this should go over well.
Believe me, I know.
Well, I'm gonna need details.
The hacker stayed dormant in my account, watching and learning everything I do. Eventually, the hacker, pretending to be me, sent our database administrator a falsified email straight out of my account.
In it, the hacker told the DBA that we hired a new contractor to help secure the servers that control trading, and to please set up an admin account for the new contractor so he could have admin access to the trading platform.
Didn't the DBA scrutinize the email like we're trained to do?
Yes, in fact, he did everything right. He checked the time the email was sent, 6:30 a.m., very normal for me. He scrutinized the grammar and use of language. It was very clearly my dialect with terms only I use. He also checked the internet headers to make sure the email was really coming from my account as opposed to being spoofed. The request could not have appeared to be any more legitimate.
Then I ask again, how did this happen?
Because even though everything looked proper, and even though the email said I would be away from my phone, he still should have called me anyway. And if he wasn't able to get a hold of me, he should have waited until we talked, no matter how long that might have taken.
Instead, the hacker, disguised as the contractor, went in and wreaked havoc on our software, setting a time bomb that executed 10 minutes into the trading day, and, as you know, halted trading that led to the 40% market drop.
Don't remind me.
At this point, all we can do is learn from our mistakes, which we are, by retraining all our employees. Anytime you receive an email requesting you to grant access to sensitive data or to transfer funds or send any other highly confidential information over email, that you verify the source of the request, either by phone or in person, no matter how long it takes, even if it means missing a deadline.
Good. I'll be sure and tell that to the Prime Minister. Hopefully, he'll share your optimism.
The UK government is investigating whether a recent outage at the London Stock Exchange was caused by a cyber attack. The outage was its worst in 8 years.
54 for 3,000 shares.
2,000 trades.
59. 59.
No,
63 for 4,000. 63 for 4,000. Give me 63 for 4,000. I'm out. 6,000 trades. 6,000 at 63. Is this a cyber attack?
Nation state hacktivist? What, cyber terrorist?
Hackers have shut down the market. They've shut it down.
I need to know how this happened. I'm due to brief the Prime Minister in less than an hour. Someone tell me something.
The investigation is
Ongoing. I know. What do we know so far?
At the present, everything's pointing back to a BEC attack.
Business email compromise. Who was it that got hacked?
It was me. They hacked my email account 8 months ago.
Let me make sure I have this right. The CEO of one of the largest stock exchanges on the planet got hacked? Oh, this should go over well.
Believe me, I know.
Well, I'm gonna need details.
The hacker stayed dormant in my account, watching and learning everything I do. Eventually, the hacker, pretending to be me, sent our database administrator a falsified email straight out of my account.
In it, the hacker told the DBA that we hired a new contractor to help secure the servers that control trading, and to please set up an admin account for the new contractor so he could have admin access to the trading platform.
Didn't the DBA scrutinize the email like we're trained to do?
Yes, in fact, he did everything right. He checked the time the email was sent, 6:30 a.m., very normal for me. He scrutinized the grammar and use of language. It was very clearly my dialect with terms only I use. He also checked the internet headers to make sure the email was really coming from my account as opposed to being spoofed. The request could not have appeared to be any more legitimate.
Then I ask again, how did this happen?
Because even though everything looked proper, and even though the email said I would be away from my phone, he still should have called me anyway. And if he wasn't able to get a hold of me, he should have waited until we talked, no matter how long that might have taken.
Instead, the hacker, disguised as the contractor, went in and wreaked havoc on our software, setting a time bomb that executed 10 minutes into the trading day, and, as you know, halted trading that led to the 40% market drop.
Don't remind me.
At this point, all we can do is learn from our mistakes, which we are by retraining all our employees. Anytime you receive an email requesting you to grant access to sensitive data or to transfer funds or send any other highly confidential information over email, that you verify the source of the request, either by phone or in person, no matter how long it takes, even if it means missing a deadline.
Good. I'll be sure and tell that to the Prime Minister. Hopefully, he'll share your optimism.
All right, so let's proceed and take our quiz. All right. All right, so based on this particular video, we have these questions that we have to answer. So please, if you know the answer to these questions, please let me know, or just unmute yourself and tell us. If somebody also says something and you don't agree with, you are also allowed to send your submission or to tell us your submission. Perfect. Let's look at question number 1, which is a true or false statement. It is possible for an attacker to compromise a legitimate email account and send emails using that account. True or false? Hello? Are you guys here with me? Question number 1, I'm reading it again. It is possible for an attacker to compromise a legitimate email account and send emails using that account. True or false?
True. True.
Okay, we have 2 truths. Let's go. All right, perfect. Let's look at question number 2. If an email message came from your organization's own email server, it can be trusted implicitly. True or false?
It's false.
False. Okay. Another true or false statement.
False.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Another true or false statement. You must verify the source of sensitive requests and make sure that they are legitimate. True or
True.
false?
True. True.
Okay.
True.
Okay. We have true statements. Perfect. Let's look at the last one. If you receive an email requesting you to grant access to sensitive data, you should. The first one says send a reply email asking for confirmation. Second one says allow access to information even if it seems legitimate and everything looks proper. The third one says answer the message to negotiate for the term. The last one says verify the source of the request, either by phone or in person.
Is the last one verify
The last one.
verify the source?
source.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Let's complete this quiz and let's look at what we got. All right. We actually got everything 100%. Now, what you have to know or what we've learned so far is that no matter who it is, no matter who is sending you an email, it might be in your business setting, it might even be in your personal setting, your friend, somebody sends you something, somebody requests something from you, you should verify from the person, hey, can you lend me $100? I'll pay you back tomorrow. Verify, call this person, whether the person is coming from somebody you trust, somebody you know, or somebody you are in constant communication with, still verify because a lot of things can happen. And just like we said in the beginning, we are in a cybersecurity awareness month. October is cybersecurity awareness, and we need to be protected. And we also need to tell our friends. We need to educate our friends. We need to educate our people. We need to let people know that these are the dangers that could happen because we have to get a safe space. We have to make sure the digital space is safe enough for us to do our business, to communicate, chat with friends, so on. And now we will go into our second part where we are trying to look at social engineering. So today's topic is social engineering, and this topic will be delivered by Otsnell, also Gilbert here. So Gilbert, if you are here, please you can start with your presentation.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So my name is Othniel, and making this short presentation on social engineering, physical and password attacks. So social engineering basically is the practice of manipulating people through a variety of strategies to accomplish desired actions. It's just preying on the human side of information security, where people are prone to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. People are negligent to something. So cybersecurity could play on that to retrieve information from people. And these cyber criminals or attackers leverage some principles to conduct social engineering. The first one is authority. It is authority is just when someone, for example, a worker in a certain company is called by a random call is placed to him, and the person is like they are posing as their boss, like he or she's boss, or a higher up in the company, and they're asking for certain information, or they would lie that maybe their password has been compromised and they need to change it. And you being a common employee, you just be you just want to send it to them. Maybe most of the time these attackers use AI tools to maybe mimic the voices of the bosses of these people. Maybe they've done their background checks of the company, who works there, and who are the bosses or the CEOs or maybe people that are in control over the company. Next one is intimidation. Intimidation relies on scaring or bullying an individual into taking a desired action. So with this one, for example, you call, or a company is an employee in the company is given a call that the there's a certain let's say promotion, or let's say a deal on the table. If they don't provide a certain details, the deal will be off the table in this amount of time or something. They'll try and put fear in you, or kind of like scare you into giving them what they want. Maybe as an employee, you don't want to be sacked, or they'll threaten you, like reporting you to your superiors. Then you'll be inclined to send them this information. Next one is consensus-based social engineering. But this one is like letting people, the attackers will let you feel like you're being left out of something. Basically, you're you're missing out on something, and maybe people normally tend to do what other people are doing. So let's say you're in a company where let's say there are new salaries, there's a new salary scheme, and you'll be sent this email that they are they are given more salaries, or maybe there's this new scheme for getting more money in the company. I mean, you're missing out, and people have actually agreed to this, so they could kind of lie to you that you could also get your hands on this new monies or some incentive. And you clicking on whatever link they send you, you get infected with the malware they've installed on it. So that's consensus based. Sorry, that's consensus based social engineering. And with scarcity is whereby they create scenarios that make something look more desirable because it may be the last one available. So with this one, it's like let's say a user is following this promotion or this contest or something, and the attacker may have done research on you, like send you a message, an SMS, or an email, and be like you are a lucky winner, or you are in for a prize package or something, and they'll make it look desirable to you, something you're likely to want. You can't actually resist it. Then you end up falling for their scheme, and they get what they want. So yeah, there are some techniques. Social engineering involves more than principles. There are also techniques that these attackers or cyber criminals use, and understanding these techniques is crucial for recognizing and defending against them. First of these techniques is phishing. Phishing is a broad term used to describe fraudulent acquisition of information, often focused on credentials like usernames and passwords. Phishing is mostly, the mode of phishing is mostly via email and SMS and via telephone, right? And the goal is mostly focused on obtaining, like the goal of the attackers is mostly focused on obtaining passwords and usernames of individuals. And they include the phishing techniques include things like smishing. Smishing is just phishing but via SMS, and vishing. Vishing is phishing via telephone. Yes. And there are some specific terms also used for specific targeting of phishing attempts. Now let's say that the phishing attempts are targeted at some section or department organizations or companies, let's say a financial department. So that small subsection of the company, let's say they are attacked by these phishing. That type of phishing is called spear phishing. And on the other hand, we have whaling. Whaling is for the big dogs in the company, like um, CEOs and board members and whatnot. And like most social engineering techniques, the common defense against phishing is awareness and teaching, educating people about these phishing attempts, monitoring maybe your email activity, do your due diligence and confirming before you click anything. Yeah. So next one is credential harvesting. Credential harvesting is a process of gathering credentials like usernames and passwords. So with this one is mostly after phishing attempts. When they successfully gained your username and passwords, they correlate all and use them to launch attacks. Mostly their focus is on your financial information, your credit cards, your bank details, and yeah. Also, that you could prevent this by activating MFA, multi-factor authentication on your devices, on all your personal stuff. Yeah. Now, attackers also attack some websites or web applications, and social engineers, they utilize some attacks, and one is termed as farming. Now, farming attacks, they shift traffic away from legitimate websites and onto malicious alternatives. They'll just, let's say you are using one site, you're on Facebook. Maybe you want to click, you saw a link on Facebook and you want to click it and check it out or something, and they'll intentionally reroute you to no that's yeah they'll reroute you to a different website they've just created by themselves. So you just click on the link and it'll just reroute you to a different malicious website. And there are other types of website attacks. There's a term named called typo squatters. They are just cyber criminals that watch domain names closely, and they kind of like, for example, you're typing in Amazon, then you mistakenly, instead of one Z, you type two Z's. The attackers preying on that mistake because they've actually created some malicious websites where when you mistakenly type these websites like Amazon with a the Z, then you do take you to a different malicious websites, and whatever malware they've installed there will affect you or will be infected on your computer. So yeah, and yeah, there's another type of these website attacks called watching hole attacks. With these ones, they do extensive research or maybe sites people regularly visit and like they regularly interact with. So let's say uh, um, football fans that normally go to, let's say, betting sites or football scores predictions, they'll just be waiting for, they'll put these kind of baits in place in your favorite website. When you click on them and you regularly visit them and you want one time you just mistakenly press any of them, then you just get infected with these malware. Yeah. And for spam spam is mostly just junk email. Like you see them all the time in your email inbox. They're just and they're not really they're unsolicited. They're not really you see them as just normal messages that just come in. But because of you wouldn't think because of this reason, you wouldn't think it may be infected or anything. You just take it as junk messages. And attackers could also use this smart way of putting enticing messages or like messages to attract you in there. And one time you might think it's a legitimate link or whatever. Then you just click it, and this way it's you could get infected or you could get attacked, cyberly attacked. Yeah. Yeah, and next on this is in-person techniques is when people actually interact with you in person or kind of manipulate you in person or in the real world. Yeah. So with this one, so some of these techniques include dumpster diving. With dumpster diving, the mean is the name virtually. It's just say you go to maybe a bin site or a dumpster in near a company or an organization. You just look through their waste material. Maybe you might find something confidential that someone might have thrown away, and that could be very um that could compromise that company. Yeah. So you just be going through their bin to retrieve sensitive information or try and find something damaging to the company, something that shouldn't get out there. Yeah. Let's say you get client details of a bank or something that have been thrown away. So with these ones, you could just prevent them by say he keep trash as trash. You throw what's just waste without any sensitive things on them or any type of information that could be damaging to that company. And with shoulder surfing, it's just a social engineering tactic where the criminal just observe someone basically, often over their shoulder. Because this normally happens in say public transports or yeah, or buses, trains. So you just maybe you're using your phone watching a video and someone might just sneak over their shoulder, just peek and see what you're doing. Maybe you're typing your password to an account or something, and they might just have a look at it and get what they want. Maybe you're in a library, using your laptop and you put in some credentials of yours and they just they just copy it or use it against you. You could just with these ones it's not really it doesn't really require any expertise. It's just you observing what they are doing and you just um you just be able to attack these people. So you could prevent shoulder surfing by let's say with smartphones you could get polarized lenses like those protectors where they're more blackout. You can't really see the screen unless you are the one using the phones. Yeah. And the next one is tailgating. Tailgating is just simply following someone who has authorization to like a secured area. So you just follow someone closely, like stalking them to just make them grant access to an area where you're not permitted. So just following them closely to get in there and try and gain information. Yeah, and next one is elicitation or eliciting information. With this one, you is done like in a conversation. Let's say a stranger or a mere acquaintance. They just come and have a conversation with you, kind of try and humor you. Maybe they 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 engage in a conversation with you and don't intentionally make a mistake. So you correct them. Maybe they've done their own research on maybe where you work, and they'll try and ask intrusive questions, try and make a mistake so that you might correct them. But in your mind, you're just having a convo, or because it's your work and he has made a false statement, you want to correct him, then you end up giving up more than you should. So yeah, that's basically like illicit information coming to you and posing as a friend or someone who wants to just have a chat with you. But in actual fact, they want to extract information from you. Yeah. Moving on to identity fraud and impersonation. Identity fraud is just using someone else's identity for your own malicious gains. And for this one, let's say for with social media, for example, with people who engage in this is mostly seen in like romance scams on, let's say you're on Twitter, a catfish account on Twitter or Instagram. They text you, maybe you are engaged in conversation with them. They try and make you fall for these messages they send while they are still extracting information from you, and they can do this for a very long period of time, just to gather information about you. So yeah, there hoaxes. Hoaxes are just ways in which people trick people into falling for fake news or scams, like just spreading false news or rumors. Let's say during an election, they'll be spreading fake propaganda about certain politician, or this politician has done something incriminating or something. It's just fake news, and it could be a part. It could be that could also be a fraud, right? And Invoice scams are just forged invoices that maybe are sent to businesses in the aim of collecting payments or retrieving money from people. Okay, in the big company like the Googles and the Amazons, where maybe they only have time to verify every source of these invoices. You could just send invoices electronically. You could use AI tools to send invoices, like make a well-created invoice, and you just send it to the company, like making it look authentic. And they might not do their due diligence in checking the source, and they might just agree to it. And you could be these attackers could be doing it for a very long time without getting noticed. So that's invoice scams. Now with reconnaissance and impersonation. Social engineering is like a subset of reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is gathering information about a target, whether it's an organization, individual, or something else. It's more like the people use social engineering techniques to back up their reconnaissance. So you just be using phishing attempts, calling people. That's all reconnaissance. Like a reconnaissance is a bigger term, but you could use social engineering to in your efforts toward like reconnaissance. Like let's say you you could get information about a potential target online, or you could place a call to a person you're trying to target, or you want something from them, and you just use AI or AI to record a message, and you be asking them questions, and they end up giving sense information to you. So all these efforts are just reconnaissance, trying to gather information about potential targets. Yeah, and next about to discuss is password attacks. There are attempts used by threat actors or penetration testers to gain unauthorized access to systems, accounts, or data by cracking or using or stealing user credentials. Sorry. So there are just ways by which these attackers could crack people's passwords or reveal people's passwords. And these attacks, some of these attacks include brute force. The first one is brute force attack. Is an attack where the attacker uses repeated passwords or uses a list of passwords that you might use, right? It's a series of so many passwords. Like let's say my password is Othniel111. They might have that. Maybe Othniel222. There's a long list of um passwords, like long list of passwords, often involving word lists and other common passwords. So you could these type of passwords are effective against people that use simple passwords. So you could prevent this by using, let's say, complex passwords or good passwords. Let's say secure password. Most often, the new websites or let's say accounts that are in play when you are let's say you are you're creating an account, you could add symbols, words, phrases so that they are more complex. And this could be more effective for against brute force attacks. The next one is password spraying accounts. This is also a form of brute force accounts and brute force attack, sorry. And it's attempts to use a single password or a small set of passwords against many accounts. So password spraying is like you use one username or password against several accounts. When attackers could attempt to use just one single password or a small set of passwords, try and crack your account. So people who kind of use maybe you have a favorite password you mostly use, right? Favorite password you mostly use. Let's say you're a football fan. You maybe use chants or maybe well-known players in your football club or something, and you mostly like to use them, or it's easier for you to remember. And you mostly use that password over your various accounts. When an attacker tries, most of the time they they try they make their own research. They try and get information about you. So maybe they might find out that you are interested in football, and they'll take that into account. And when they try these passwords, maybe you don't use unique passwords for different accounts, you could be compromised. You could prevent this by using offline. You could also use offline password managers. Most of the time, the online ones, let's say Google, the Google password managers, they are linked to your accounts. So when an attacker gets hold of them, your passwords could be compromised. But the offline ones like KeePass, you could just you could use password managers to create unique IDs for every account you have. So it will create good, strong passwords for you against your several accounts so that it's not repeating and it won't be compromised easily. And dictionary attacks. Dictionary attacks are basically like words or phrases people will normally use, and they've compiled all in a book, right, or in a list, just in an attempt to use it against people to crack people's accounts or devices or whatnot. So they use a list of words and phrases people might normally use, right? Maybe your the name of your dog, or maybe your date of birth, something like that. And these attacks are mostly common. So dictionary attacks and password spraying attacks are mostly are a form of brute force attacks. Now, for physical, we also have physical attacks. Physical attacks is mostly involves on-site penetration testing. It's mostly done physically, right? It's mostly done in person. You and you could attackers normally achieve this by, let's say, you drop pen drives, or you leave pen drives at vantage places where maybe people might get a hold of it and insert it into their computers. Maybe most of the times they would leave compelling statements, like words on them. Like, let's say you write something like financial information, or performance reviews, or confidential, and people want to know what's about. They just insert it in their they insert these malicious pen drives or flash drives into their laptops or computers, let's say at work, and they end up installing malware into their computers, and the attacker gains control and gets what they want. And most of the time, these flash drives, it's not common, but it could be infected directly from where they are produced, like straight from the industry. It could be infected before delivery to the customers or the consumers, right? And there are also malicious cables. They are as a kind of like a vector, or a way of installing malware by these attackers. Is most of the times it could just appear as a cable or a charger somewhere, or maybe at in your home or at your workplace. It will replace an existing cable, but it's actually a dangerous malware or a malicious software installed into your computer. So when you just input it, or you just insert it in your device, with every keystroke you type, maybe you're installing command from the attacker, or maybe you are sending maybe you type in some passwords, and these commands just get sent to the attacker. And most of the times, computers normally trust keyboards. So without you noticing, you're typing commands or installing malware. Yeah, and it can also record what you type, as I said, like passwords too. And yeah, that's basically my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. But before you leave, Otno, questions, please. If you have questions for our presenter, please do.
All right. So thank you very much, Otno, for the wonderful presentation. I did hear you talking about physical attack, and I think that is one area that mostly people actually don't really pay attention to, especially when we talk about tailgating and piggybacking. I was in and out of the conversation, so pardon me if you mentioned that and I missed it. But then, if you did, can you throw a few lights on those areas for me? Piggybacking and then tailgating.
Yeah, so tailgate is is following the target closely. Targets you want target has access to a secured area, right? And you want to gain access into that area. So you kind of like follow them closely, or kind of like stalking them till they enter those places, and you follow them to enter those places, right? Uh,
Hi, are you done?
Yeah, I thought my mic went off for a second.
Okay, go ahead. We're listening.
Yeah, so tailgating or piggyback is just following someone to a security area. Maybe you want access to somewhere that contains information you want. So let's say a company has a room, maybe it's out of bounds, right? But people there are certain people in the organization that have access to the place. So you follow them closely or kind of watch their movements and also get into that place and try and get information out of the area, the place.
Okay, sounds good. So if you saw someone wearing a reflector jacket with, say, a ladder, like these guys that are into construction and um, labor workers and all that, and then you saw this particular person with a ladder wearing this reflector jacket, and they are just by the entrance of your organization, and they kind of seem like they need someone to hold on to the door for them to actually gain access to the premises. That could also be a challenge. And most of us, we are raised in a way that when you see someone walking behind you, or if you see somebody carrying a heavy load, and you can help out by holding a door for them to actually make their way into a building and etc. That kind of look like something that is more respectful. But in cybersecurity, that is not. If you see somebody, if it's a restricted area where everyone is supposed to have a badge, they need to swipe before they get in. You holding a door for someone behind you to actually make their way into the building is a no-no. They all have to swipe their badges. So if I am going in and you're behind me, and you're even a lady behind me, usually that's what gentlemen do. If you're entering a place and there's a lady behind you, you want to be a gentleman by holding on to the door for the lady to pass. In cybersecurity, that's a no-no. You make yourself into the building, you make sure you close the door behind you. And the next person that is also making it into the building also needs to swipe their badge before they get in. This is also one common area for social engineering where physical attack is normally not really looked at, because the way our culture actually tells us it's only nice and respectful if you saw someone behind you and you are ahead of them and you have the door open, you want to hold on for the door for the individual to make their way in there. But like I said, in cybersecurity, it's a no-no. So I just wanted to chip that in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that submission. Anybody would also, if you would want to ask a question, please feel free to do that before our presenter leaves. We'll take, our last questions before he leaves. Mike, your microphone is unmuted. Would you like to ask a question?
Okay, so most of the time we realize that we receive some text messages from some unsolicited companies. As you're talking about smishing, how do you safeguard yourself from receiving some of these messages?
So with these messages, you could try your best to confirm the source, or you make your own research, background checks about where it's coming from, or maybe the contents of it will give you an idea of where it's coming from. You try and verify first. Sometimes you could take your phone number, maybe it's an email about maybe your from your bank, or maybe from an account of yours, and it would it's designed nicely to look like authentic, but you have to do your due diligence to check first. You call and confirm so that you don't get compromised in any way.
Okay. Okay. Does that answer your question, Mike? Or do you want to go, go into that?
No, I think I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. So what we've learned today is that attackers are smart. They know we are human and you want to use these things to gain access into something they are not supposed to do. And that is the point Otnell or Otto presented on social engineering. It is common. A lot of attacks happen as a result of social engineering because we are humans at the end of the day. And our security tools can be in place, all the things can be in place, but then we humans control it. And one simple error or one simple mistake, or might even think you're doing someone good, but that could lead to a compromise in your business or in your company. So thank you for that wonderful presentation, Otnell. And this is where we will end today's session. So thank you guys for joining us here. As I said earlier, this month is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So share the word, tell your friends, educate people around you. If they are doing something that could go against them in a digital space, please help them so that at the end of the day, we get to have a space where people are free to do things that they want to do. I'm talking about the digital space. So thank you guys for joining us. And as you heard, if you want to learn cybersecurity, you can, you should. You don't even need anything to learn cybersecurity. As long as you want to, as long as you have the interest, just send us a message and we would respond and we would help you become a cybersecurity professional. We have industry experts who will be there to guide you, to teach you, bring you the tools that you need to learn cybersecurity. So just send us a message or send us an email or go to our website, softwarepeak.com. You'll see everything there. Just send us a message and we will be there to respond. So like I said, we are bringing this session to a close. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, same time, same link. Thank you guys once again. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.